I've been thinking a lot about how it is that a lot of these new, like what we view as technologically advanced fabrics, they all have fatal flaws, and we're thinking they're better. So like I'm thinking about like DCF and Ultra specifically, but some of the other ones that came out, like EP, which a couple sort of popular backpacks were made out of, like the Desert Pack, and now graphite. And so we have all of these new. They're making the backpacks a bit more expensive, and we're thinking that they're better when in fact they're only better in one area, and they're not better overall. They're not better than Gridstop. They're not better than Robic. But I think that the reason why people are using them is because they're presenting a kind of status. They're letting people know that I spend more money on my gear. There's some case for DCF with shelters, but it's just crazy that you would spend $800 or $1,000 on a shelter to make it a couple ounces lighter. I think if you have the money, or your entire life is hiking and you have the money, fine, you can buy DCF for your shelter. One of the reasons why it's better is because it dries quicker. And I think that's really it. That's the only reason why it's better. It doesn't pack down as easily. It's not as durable. It's sold as being more durable. They're saying like, these are racing sails. But in fact, like racing sails are not meant to touch anything else really except itself. And they're put away in a really specific way every time, so that it doesn't have any hard folds. And when you put DCF in your bag, it takes up an incredible amount of space. And yeah, it dries faster, but when you're comparing it to sil nylon or sil poly, it doesn't dry that much faster. A couple years ago, not anymore, but a couple years ago, we used to call it Taj Mahaling. When you look at someone's kit and they have all DCF, it means that their kit is, over $4,000. And when I went to Luna's, which is the first hostel on the CDT if you're going southbound, there was like her entire backyard was full of DCF tents. And I remember looking around and I was like, there's like $60,000 worth of gear in this backyard, and there just really isn't any reason except for flexing to have this new high-tech fabric. The reality is that we've been using Gridstop forever, not forever, for like 20 years, and Robic works as well, and they have little flaws, like they sag a little bit when they get wet, but that's not like a little flaw like they can't last more than 2 thru hikes, but I really believe that people are buying these DCF bags and graphite and Ultra just because when you look at it, it's like that looks like a high-tech fabric, and that looks like an expensive piece of gear. And I think it's important that a ultralighter, super ultralighter, says this, because in a lot of ways, the reputation of ultralight backpackers is that we are stuck up people that would care about status. And I don't care about status. I care about people being able to get into the woods and knowing that you don't need to spend so much money on gear. If you're someone who's out there and they're like, I'm gonna be doing this thru hike, you don't make that much money, you're really gonna have to save a lot to put together a kit, but you wanna have the best gear you possibly can for your thru hikes. So you're willing to, work another month to get these super tech fabrics. I just wanna tell you that sil poly, sil nylon, Robic, Gridstop, it's all just as good. And you can see with my budget kit that I put together for a video that's around $250, that's around 6 pounds, that you really don't need DCF for super ultralight backpacking. You can have a shelter that's made out of sil poly. And the major complaint about sil poly is that when it gets wet, it sags a little bit. And so you set it up, it rains a little bit, and then you're gonna have to tighten up the fabric a little bit. It's really not a big deal. It's not a big, it's not a fatal flaw. It's a slight flaw, The fatal flaw of DCF is that it's not durable. It falls apart, you know, which is a pretty big fatal flaw. You get all these little pinholes in it. Eventually, anywhere that you by mistake made a hard fold, it starts to rip. And plenty of people that are hard on their gear, their tent doesn't even last more than one through hike. And so when you're spending $800 on a piece of gear, you're like, oh, I'm going to be able to have this for, you know, my whole life, because DCF is marketed as being something that, you know, lasts forever. It is more durable than everything, when in fact it's durable in one lane. And if you deviate from any of those other lanes, it totally falls apart. And it's the same thing with Ultra. Like, they're saying that now they've developed an Ultra that doesn't delaminate, but the fatal flaw of Ultra, you know, it's so great in all of these areas except for the fact that the laminate comes off, which makes it so that, like, it pretty much falls apart. And, like, I think just intuitively, when you look at something like Gridstop, it looks like fabric. It looks like a textile. It looks like something that you know would be durable, and it is. And then you look at, you know, Ep.200 or Ep.400, and you're like, this looks weird. It looks like a Priority Mail envelope, which are actually really good things to make, you know, mitts and other things out of, actually, because it's essentially just tie back. But it looks like a Priority envelope, and it doesn't look like it's going to last. And then it doesn't, surprisingly. And I just want to end with, like, I'm not against buying gear because it gives you status. Status is fine. Like, you know, I don't know that I'm going to steel man why I think that status is good or something. But if you want to buy something because it makes you feel better, then go ahead and buy it. Just know that that more expensive fabric, that more expensive piece of gear isn't necessarily better in all avenues. Let me know in the comments if what you're thinking about these sort of new, just like unorganized thoughts about specific things on Ultralight. I'm enjoying doing them. Hopefully they're helpful. I'm just trying to, like, get everything that's in my head onto video, and then once I'm done with trail, I'll be able to make more, like, higher quality, higher edited, more organized stuff. But as I'm on trail and I'm thinking about things, I just wanted to sort of catch them on video, because it's my desire to both, like, help people become ultralight, but, like, if they want to, I don't think it's necessarily better in any way, and help people to know that it doesn't have to cost a lot of money to walk into the woods and go to sleep. And so I guess the latter is what this video is mostly about.